Have you ever seen a film with an intermission? Hello and welcome to Cooper's video log. So here we will be looking at week 19 of 2026. Specifically starting with the 4th of May, or some call it the Star Wars Day. It was something better than that because, for me at least, because I finally watched Seven Samurai at the BFI IMAX. And I suppose it is a little bit related to Star Wars tangentially, just because George Lucas has gone on record to claim that Akira Kurosawa films have been an inspiration for some Star Wars films, specifically Hidden Fortress, and a few other elements from Kurosawa films have been posed by George Lucas and many Hollywood directors. Been meaning to watch it for a long time. I actually have it on Blu-ray, but I knew that BFI IMAX will show it one day, as they do with the most historically significant films, and I was just waiting patiently for the opportunity to watch it, and I did, and I'm grateful that I did, because this is a true epic. This is the kind of thing that puts, honestly, Chris Nolan and those other guys to shame, just because you understand that what they're doing is really not new, because Akira Kurosawa has been doing that back in 1954, and he arguably does it better because he doesn't have to rely on cheap tricks and very hyper edited material just to create a sense of scale and pace. For a 3.5 hour long film, it spends a decent time setting everything up, and then that's when, of course, after that, there's a lot of preparation that goes into defending of the... Oh, actually, wait, sorry, the synopsis. I with some of these films, first of all, you should know what Seven Samurai is, but okay, sorry, alright, sorry, whoa, I'm sorry, right? Seven Samurai starts in a small village where the inhabitants learn that they are about to be raided by bandits, and they decide to hire samurai to protect them from the bandits. So this follows the actual hiring of the samurai and the complex political landscape of Japan at the time, between the class system of the samurai and the farmers, and the issues around that, and also the actual battle for when the bandits attack, and that aspect of the class divide. And I will not go into too much detail why I think the film does it so great, because I think then it will be going into some spoilers there. But I think what I would like to highlight is that it does so in a very engaging comedic manner. I think some people would assume this to be a very highbrow art house films, but it really isn't. And I think so much of Kurosawa manages to thread this line between being entertaining and high art at the same time, specifically with Toshihiro Mifune's acting being so campy. And this is something that I commented on specifically in Yojimbo in a few videos ago, where he is extremely stoic, so cool, sort of the archetype of the cool anime guy. And I would think it'd be fair to say that Kurosawa is the person who really solidified that. But in this film, he is a boisterous character who is played for laughs, and Mifune does that with such a level of commitment. He is so earnestly campy, which is what is the best type of campy, because any self-aware campy is not campy. Then you're just self-aware, and that irony poisoned performance just not gonna land, or the irony poisoned writing is gonna shine through. But Toshihiro Mifune knows how to do that, and that level of earnestness really shines through the film. And all of the characters are, in the sense, many of these characters are archetypes of characters you would have seen in many other films that have the inspiration that Seven Samurai has created for so many of the films is very clear. And in many cases, there will be certain films or music I would listen to, and I will understand how this specific work of art has shaped many other works of art, the way it influenced them. And I will say that there are many works of art that have very much beyond surpassed some of the works. But in this case, this is the case of where the original still shines bright as a beacon of what it should be, is the archetype to be copied from. And that is the difference between a truly great original that is serves as the basis, as the foundation, instead of something to be iterated upon. And then it's an iteration upon an iteration. Sometimes it subverts things. The Seven Samurai is a certified classic, and I'm so glad I got to watch it on the big screen just to enjoy the scale. And because also, with just as I said with Yojimbo, Kurosawa's mastery of the framing, of the blocking, is phenomenal, and this creates the dimensionality to films that very few directors manage to do or accomplish. That is why his films are almost picturesque in a sense. Be watching this so absorbed in the story that you wouldn't even really care to notice it unless you're really trying to notice it. And it's just masterful filmmaking around.